All right, welcome to this week's edition of the Weekly Outlook. Today is April 2nd, and since it's the first weekly outlook of the month, this will be made public to everyone. For those of you who don't know, I do this every single week, and only the members of the Discord, the premium Discord, get access to this video every single weekend. They're also able to ask me for chart requests, ask me questions, what I'm seeing in the market for them personally, and I answer those one by one at the end of this recording. I've also just recently created a TikTok, and I have an Instagram, so if you guys wouldn't mind following and liking those videos, it would really help with the algorithms for me, as well as like and subscribe this video on YouTube. I would really appreciate it. I'm building bot right now with Astrobit, so that's still in the testing phase. I'm pretty excited about that. There's a lot of anticipation surrounding that right now. It's definitely taking longer than I thought it would, but when it does finally get released, I have high hopes and aspirations that it will do very well. The testing is going well so far, so I'm pretty excited about that. If you don't know, the TA channels in the DeFi Dojo are only $15 a month just to be able to come hang out with us and learn. This is a teaching Discord. I teach you how to chart and how I see the market. We look more at the market on a psychological perspective more than what the price of any certain asset is. That is a lot more important. So enough of the shilling. I'm going to get into the charts. So this week I am, you know what? I did. Okay. This week is kind of a story for crypto, is kind of just a bunch of dojis everywhere. So if we first I want you to just kind of see what's going on here on the volume profile chart, where we were heading for that 28.8 mark, and we're still not able to get through that resistance, right? So if I zoom in, you can clearly see that we've wicked up above it once here, where we thought we were breaking out, and then we just fell right back down. But we are still holding the 8 moving averages here. So I have to remain bullish. I have to remain bullish on this market at the moment. However, a deeper pullback is not out of the question. I think we will stay within this range. And I'm just going to continue to play it the way that I have been the last couple of weeks, where if we break 28.8, I'm going to try long. If we break down below 27.3, which is this mark right here, I'm going to short down to 25.2. And then that's where I'm going to stop if I am shorting, because this is a bullish market. I'm not going to try to push that any further than it's going to let me. So for now, we are still waiting on Bitcoin to make up its mind. If we look at the actual Bitcoin chart, this is why I said this week is a story of doji candles, because we have 2 in a row now, 2 weekly doji candles sitting right up on top of the support, and the 8 EMA is just kind of catching up still. So I think we might get another week of that. I'm not positive. I don't know. We're just trading within this same range for a very long period of time. It's driving both bulls and bears kind of crazy at the moment. And so I'm kind of staying away from trading a whole lot with crypto. I do have a favorite token right now that I like long. And if you're in the Discord, you know which one that is. So if you'd like to know more about that, then you can come try for 2 weeks free. I recommend it. All right, so let's go look at the dollar, which is where we typically start. So we hit our previous target down here at the 101 area, and we've bounced since then, rejecting the 382, which we called pretty perfectly a couple weeks ago, and we've retraced further down. Now what we're seeing is the dollar's trying to bounce. We got like a double bottom formation going on right here. If I kind of zoom in a little bit, we can see, just drawing from this bottom to this top, we nailed the 786 pretty perfectly, and this is the last Friday's bounce that we had, and then we had another bounce this Friday. So now we're kind of seeing some sort of support forming, and I think we will come up and test this 0.5 at 103.32, which would then coincide with the 21 EMA here on the daily. From there, we need to kind of see what happens, right? This is going to potentially create a pullback in the markets, and it's more correlated with equities than it is Bitcoin, although people like to say, the dollar's coming down, so Bitcoin's going up. Yes, that's true. However, it's just when the dollar's coming down, growth stocks are bouncing, and since Bitcoin is considered a growth asset, it's just kind of going with it as well. Not knocking anything about crypto or Bitcoin, but I think that the dollar is more correlated with equities, and USDT dominance is what we use here more to correlate to crypto. And we're still waiting for it to break down below this 6.87% level. We keep trying and it keeps pushing back up. On the weekly, you can see we are tapping that 8 EMA again right now. It actually just touched it as it started this brand new candle less than an hour ago. So let's see if we can make a move back down here to the 6.87 level. And if we can get through that, then we can be a little more confident in trying to long some stuff. But for now, everything is just sideways. If we look at the CME futures chart for Bitcoin, you can see we're just hanging out in this gap for going on three weekly candles now. We just started this one, so it's not a full 3 weeks yet. But we've been hanging out in the same zone for a long time. This is a bullish look, right? If this was going to retrace deeply, it would have done it already. Like if there were sellers just waiting to get out up here to take profits, we would have seen this happen already. So this is just indicating to me that this market is, in fact, very, very bullish right now. We have a full reversal going on. And I still anticipate coming up here and filling this gap at 35K at some point in time in the future. The question is how deep of a pullback are we going to get before we make the next move for a higher high? We have, for the first time, a higher low and now a higher high. So this is the start of a trend. Now, we don't have enough information to kind of draw a line for this trend yet, but it's sort of starting to look like a 45-degree angle to the upside. If I just take my trend line here and stretch it out this way, you can see this is potentially, the channel that we're starting to create. So yes, this is how far down we could come, which would coincide with the 21 EMA right around 23.3, and this could be weeks away. Nobody knows. I'm not going to try to tell you that I'm so good that I know where this is going, because nobody knows. We have to play it level by level, and we have to play it day by day, and we get our licks in when we can, and we do that very well here. So here are two gap situations, gap down here and a gap above, and this is what we're looking for. This is where we're going to be in the next month or so, right? So that's what we're looking for. If we look at this chart here, once again, everybody in the dojo knows what this is because I've been showing it for a couple weeks now, but this is a Wyckoff accumulation phase, and we're getting closer to phase E, where Bitcoin should start taking off and start heading towards the golden pocket. Now, how many weeks away we are from that, I don't know. I'm kind of guessing when I'm drawing this line out here, right? It could be now, it could be all the way over here in June. Right? A lot of people are talking about how summer is going to be good. And yeah, I think it will be. Right now, if you bought down here where I recommended it in early December, we're still on hold. Things are still great. You're just going to hold your spot trades on Bitcoin. Altcoins, we still haven't seen an alt season. If we go look at the ETH Bitcoin chart, here's another double doji. So this is why I'm saying this is the week of doji candles, right? So is this confirming support for Ethereum? Against Bitcoin, or is this showing like nobody wants to buy alt still? To me, it's showing nobody wants to buy alt still. I think this is going to remain staying down here until this 8 EMA gets closer to that 618, and then we may see a move. So we might get like a little altcoin pump at some point here in the next week or two. But I ultimately think we're going to reject this at the 8 EMA and 618 and move further down into this golden pocket. And what that's going to do is that's going to catapult Bitcoin up to the next level, while alts kind of straggle behind once again. This is what you want to see if the market's returning back to a bullish state. You want to see Bitcoin leading the way. You want to see Bitcoin taking off and everybody pouring their money into Bitcoin and alts bleed into Bitcoin. And that's just what happens when the market turns around. We don't get our real true alt season, like a real one, until Bitcoin goes up, sells off in that golden pocket, comes back down, finds support, and then starts moving into the next bull market. That's when alt season like really comes. So we could potentially be pretty far away from that for now. That doesn't mean that some altcoins aren't finding their bottoms and making moves up, and that's their bottoms, right? That doesn't mean that. What I mean is Bitcoin should remain dominant until we see something that shows us it's not, right? We're not going to try to guess that alt season's tomorrow, right? We're going to wait for it to start so we can actually see it happening, and then we're going to jump on the alts. All right, so looking at Ethereum, it's also still bullish. It's broken all of its downtrends. It's having trouble at this 382. Now, typically when Ethereum makes its bear market rally from the lows, it will go up and hit the 0.5, and that's as high as it gets. Sometimes it overshoots a little bit, but very rarely has Ethereum gone up to the golden pocket like Bitcoin does. Bitcoin will get all the way up here. Ethereum stops short, right? And that's because Bitcoin is dominant during this period of the cycle, most likely, more than likely. So if we do get to break this 1828 level, then 2200 is my main target for Ethereum. Beyond that, we'll have to play it by ear and see how it goes, but that is my main target for Ethereum, somewhere in between 2000 and 2200. And this is the CME chart, by the way. If I go to the spot chart, it's a little different. So it's just shy of 2200 here. So this is our first level of resistance, should we end up getting up there, but you can see we broke the downtrend, 2 dojis on the weekly. Yet to be seen if we're going to get a pullback to the 8 EMA again this week, and then maybe try to move back up. But this is kind of your support for Ethereum right around 1690. If we start getting candles closed below that, it might be time to start looking out, right? Like, watch out, things might get ugly. All right, now I am still a big fan of the NASDAQ and the S&P this week more than I am crypto. And for the same reason I was last week when you guys saw me show this chart on the weekly outlook, we hit that 0.5 perfectly. We got the 100 MA rolling down here that we are rejecting against. And by the way, if you don't know, this is Bitcoin against the NASDAQ. So this shows us if Bitcoin is outperforming equities or not, at least the NASDAQ, right? And so this is very good chart to use because it allows me to know if I want to go invest in the stock market more this week or if I want to go invest in crypto more this week. So once again, I'm going to be investing more and trying long on things in the NASDAQ and the S&P more than I am crypto this week. And this chart is why. I think we get this candle to move down and touch this 8 EMA sometime this week, maybe next week. But it will happen. This will touch that again. I can promise you. And that is going to be where I am longing the NASDAQ. So let's go look at the NASDAQ. All right, so we broke that target, that resistance that I've been talking about for weeks. We finally broke it with a huge bullish candle last week. I took quite a bit out of the market last week when I longed SPY. So all I did was buy that last Friday, and I just held it until Friday close before the weekend ended, and I took my profits and I doubled my account. It was amazing. And that's all I had to do. It was one trade. It doesn't have to be more complicated than that. When you see something in the charts, you just have to have the patience to let it play out and let it go, right? So now we might get a little bit of a pullback, which it looks like we're opening a little red right now, and we might come back down and retest that all-important resistance at 13K, which now should become support. So that's what we're going to be watching for, 13K support for the NASDAQ. And then the target's going to be this 1350 mark where you can see the 100 moving average on the weekly is kind of right in that same spot, right? Another thing I like to do is pull these fibs from the top to the bottom. And you can see we're sitting right on this 0.5 right now. So we closed over it, which is a good sign last week, but now we're kind of opening under it, and we got to see how much like wiggle room we get in between these two marks. So in between 12,945 and 13,259 might be where we stay this week. We might just hang out there. There are not a lot of events this week. If we go look at the calendar, we have ISM manufacturing, international trading goods, petroleum, which is every week, jobless claims, which is every week. And then Friday, we have employment situation. So we don't have anything crazy going on this week like CPI data or rate hikes or any FOMC announcements, or I don't think J-Powell's talking. So there's nothing crazy that's going to create a lot of volatility. So this might just be a boring sideways week. But I usually will find some things that can happen typically. So you'll just have to keep your eye out. Now, let's go to ES. So this is the S&P 500. For you, those of you that don't know, this is its futures chart. And you can see we found support down here on that 14-year trend line that we've been watching for, I don't know, 6 months now. And we crossed our EMAs bullish a few days ago. It was like Tuesday. And we were watching this, and this is where I was able to have more confidence in holding that long call that I had on SPY. And I took my profits right at close Friday. It was awesome. So now I took all profits. I'm not in anything right now, and I'm going to wait for a little bit of a pullback, and I'm going to try to long this again up to the resistance up here around 4,200. I think we're going to hit it. You can see this is strong resistance here, kind of resistance right there. This wick candle all the way up to it, and then you got another whole bunch of candles resisting at that same level. If we cross that, then we are going, the market's just absolutely fully bullish. That would be a confirmation that the S&P is fully reversing. And for those of you in the channel for a long time, we were adding to all of our positions on Google, on Microsoft, on ARK-K, NVIDIA. We were adding all of these stocks down here months ago. So everyone should be sitting real pretty right now if you were following those. All right, so let's see. We did that. Oh, here is the distribution, and this is USDT dominance. This is what I see playing out. Now, again, where does phase E start, right? That's the question. Right now, it's going to start, I think, when we break down and get down below that 6.86 level again, right? And when that happens, that's when Bitcoin's going to make its next big move up. So we're still waiting on that to happen. If we look at total market cap, once again, 2 doji candles. This is just big indecision. The market doesn't know which way to go. So we just have to wait, right? And patience and waiting is your best friend in trading, right? You don't want to sit here and try to trade all these tiny little moves. You want to wait for a good support or a good move before you try to take a position. You don't want to be trying to play these little moves in between here. You're just going to get burned. But still fully bullish. We've broken the downtrend on total market cap. This is a great sign. Total market cap should do mostly what Bitcoin does because it's the most dominant, and get up around the 0.618 here is kind of what I'm thinking, sometime between now and 6 months. This is where you want to sell, by the way. All right, so I covered USDT, Bitcoin. There's the profile chart. I covered the dollar. Oh, I do think we get back down here at some point again. We just got to probably come up and test this again here. And so this is going to be my cue to try to long ES again when the dollar taps this 0.5. If I see it sometime between Monday and Tuesday, maybe Wednesday. If it takes all the way till Wednesday to touch that, I might wait, because then I only got 2 days left on the trading week. So I might wait a little bit. All right, we covered this chart. This is going to come back down to the 8 EMA. I'm pretty confident about that. The Nasdaq's probably going to touch that 100 EMA or 100 moving average on the weekly at some point very soon. And ES is probably going to test 4,200 sometime soon. It's actually 4195 area. Hang Seng has broken its little downtrend here, and after this bounce, this kind of looks like a flag, right? It found the 382, which is the sign of a strong trend potentially. So China looks like it might be trying to make another move up. It also looks like an inverted head and shoulders here that could be forming. And so if that's the case and we break 22,700 here, then, we're going to be fullish, like full reversal on China here, which is good because it helps us if we want to long crypto overnight while we're sleeping. Well, we have a good idea of what China's doing, and China can, help us along while we're sleeping too. Make money while you sleep, right? That's the goal. All right, so I think I have covered everything. All right, so thank you for watching. I'm going to go ahead and take the chart requests from everybody in the premium section of the Discord now. So I'm going to end this recording, but please come check out the Discord, and I hope to see you there. Have a good night.